Hello followers and welcome back to my Minecraft tutorial. This is episode 81 and in today's episode we are going to be creating a fireworks display. And the reason for that is the day that this video will go live is actually the 1 year anniversary of my Minecraft tutorials season 2. So it's been a year. Wow. My goodness me, a year on this same world doing tutorials. How time flies. Honestly, I didn't expect, even remotely, to get this far. I'm sure what that cobblestone is. Very interesting. I'm sure it's fine. So, to kind of celebrate the fact that we've been doing this for a year, I'm going to create a nice fireworks display. And we're going to do that using some redstone randomizers. And to give you an idea of how this episode's going to run, the first part is going to be setting up the redstone for this. I've got an area all picked out over here. And the second half of the episode we're going to craft some fireworks and then end it off by enjoying the display. So, pretty cool stuff all around. So I've got this area picked out right over here. And we're just going to do a little bit of land clearing. Get some of this tall grass out of the way. Now, 1.7 is out, but we are still on 1.6.4, and we will be for a little while yet. And that's just until we do the horse stuff and everything else that I feel that we need to really cover before making the switch to 1.7, which shouldn't be, by my planning, too far away, hopefully. So, we've got a bit of an area kind of sorted out now, so I'm thinking that I want the fireworks to go up above the trees. So we've got this area set up right here, so we can now begin with our redstone. So you're going to need 7 droppers, 7 hoppers, 7 dispensers, 7 comparators, 8 repeaters, a redstone torch, and some redstone. Now you should know how to craft all of these things. If you don't, then you can look back at my tutorials from before this episode, or you can go on the Minecraft wiki. So we've got all of those, so let's get started. Now, the first thing we need to do is kind of get a redstone pattern down, and this is the pattern that we're going to go with. And coincidentally we need to make 7 lines, so we've got 4, that's 5, this is 6, there we go, so we've got 7. And we're going to build a redstone clock over here, but that's a little bit later on. So now what we want to do is we want to get our droppers. We want to place 1 dropper facing towards us on each of these redstone lines. And then we want to get our 7 hoppers, and we want to place the hoppers into the droppers, like so. Oops. Let's get you back and take that torch out of the way. So now we want to get our comparators, and we want to place a comparator facing outwards from the hoppers, like this. Now we want to get some redstone down. Oops. We may need some more redstone. And we want to make 3 blocks of redstone, like so. And these are analog randomizers, if you remember when we did the RNG tutorial, which was way back. And now we're going to put a repeater on the end of each of these lines, and at the end of this we can put our dispensers. So you want the dispensers obviously facing upwards. I'm going to get a little bit of dirt here just so that I can place them down. Yeah, obviously, I don't think it matters too much, but I'm going to place them upwards anyway, just because I think that it makes sense more than anything. But I am going to need to go grab myself some more dirt. But that is not a problem. There we are. So, fireworks were actually an item added in 1.4.6, which was roughly a year ago, for a Christmas-type celebration. But we're going to use them for a different type of celebration. So we have the randomizers hooked up. Now, these will not work. Why? Because there is no items in there. So we're going to go ahead and make some items. And basically, the way these work is every time a redstone signal is applied to this dropper, it's going to choose an item and put it into the item hopper. Now, we're going to have items which have got different stack values, and what I mean by that is that one item will stack up to 64 and another item will only stack up to 1. So an item that stacks up to 64 is redstone repeaters, dirt, sticks, which we're going to be using. Items that only stack up to 1 are things like tools, music discs, things of that nature. So we're going to have at least one of both those types in here, and it will randomly choose what we're going to be making a wooden sword, so an item that stacks up to 1, and when it does, it's going to give it a power level of 3, which coincidentally enables it to head into this repeater and then fire a firework. If it chooses any of the other items, then the power level is only going to be 1. So that firework won't be fired on that round. So we're going to have this hooked up to a redstone clock over here, which we'll talk about in a minute, so that all we have to do is stand back and watch, and this will be fully automatic, which is probably the most exciting aspect of it. So we've got this crafting table down, and the reason for that is because we're going to want to put 1 stick in each of these, and we're also going to make some wooden swords, I think, shortly. There we go. And we're also going to mix in some other items in some of them. So in that one we'll have a couple of different items. In here we'll just have the seeds. In there we will have dirt and seeds and maybe a piece of coal. Some redstone, some seeds, piece of cobblestone. So we just want to kind of mix up the randomization of it, really, is what we're trying to go for here. So we'll have that. Now, depending on the number of items that are in each one will determine how often that fires. So you don't want to overload them with stuff. I wouldn't go with more than 3 objects. So actually we're going to take that cobblestone out, so that the fireworks display looks half decent. So now we're going to make up the wooden swords, and whenever the wooden sword gets chosen will be whenever the firework is activated. So we're actually going to need 7. So we're just I'm gonna put 7 in there. So we're gonna get 7 wooden swords. And by the way, if you want to download this world, then you can go ahead and do that. The link will be down below so that you can play around with this yourself. And we're gonna have to go and head back up and get in a bed. But that is that bit set up. So all we've got to do now is actually set up the redstone clock to this. And I guess we could do that while we're over here, honestly. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to make fireworks, and I'm going to show you how to make all of them, and we'll probably mess around with a few before actually setting up the display. So make sure that you've got plenty of light around, and just keep a casual eye out for creepers. You don't want all of this stuff being blowed up. It's a lot of resources, so we don't really want that to happen. So we're going to need to clear out a little bit of room here, so we're going to leave that empty for the moment. Now we are going to have to test it to make sure it works. In fact, I don't have enough redstone to do this, so we're going to have to head back over to the hut anyway to get some more redstone, because I'm actually out, which is surprising. I've got more back at the cabin though, so it's not a worry. I just didn't bring quite enough with me on this trip. So let's head back up there. So this should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's a nice little fun project which I've wanted to show off for a while and wasn't really sure how to do. So we've actually got an event to celebrate and have a nice fireworks display with. Alright, so at this point I want more redstone. That was it. Don't even need all of those, to be honest. We just need that. So we've got redstone now, redstone torch, we've got blocks. So we have pretty much everything that we need at this point. All the mobs causing trouble. So I kind of built it over there so that it's out of the way, as we're going to do some projects in this area fairly soon. So I didn't want it to kind of encroach on that. And my aim is to have the fireworks kind of display, and we'll probably stand over on that hill and kind of sit and watch from there. I'll probably get some fences down so that mobs don't bother us, that kind of thing. So let's get back to building this redstone clock. We're going to build a very, very simple clock. Really, really easy to do. Pretty compact as well. But we are going to need a little bit of room for it. So now then, let's see if I can remember this correctly. It's going to be a test of memory here. So it should be that, and then a repeater at 4, and then that. There we go. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure all of that one isn't firing, so it's a bit too far away. So we need to bring this redstone clock a little bit closer, because we want them all to be firing. 7 is the maximum you can get out of a signal strength of 15, which is why I'm doing this method. Alright, so no, we don't want it to be right there. We want it to be here. So torch, repeater at 4, connect that to that, and then we should have a toggleable. Are we there? No. So we need to go one closer. So we're almost there. Almost. Just a little bit of trial and error here, folks, to kind of get it working in the way that you want. So I'm going to break that for the moment. Now we're going to test this to make sure it's working before we set fireworks off, because then we're going to run out, because they're pretty expensive. So now everyone should be firing, which it is. You can see there the sword got chose. And let's just take a quick look. As you can see, look. You can see whenever these repeaters go off, this is when a firework would actually go off. And pretty much every time one of them gets chosen. Sometimes multiple ones get chosen, which is the idea. This is what makes the fireworks display work. So now we're going to knock that out for the time being. Now what we're actually going to do is we're going to get a piston in this area right here, and we're going to push this block in because we want to be over there to see it start. We don't want to be over here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a piston, and we're going to have a long trail of wire over here so that we can just kind of flick that piston and it pushes it into place, and then the fireworks show will begin. So this is the redstone part. So now let's actually take a look at how to craft fireworks. Okay guys, so as you can see in my inventory, I have a bunch of supplies which are going to help us create fireworks. You need paper, gunpowder and dye mainly, but you will also see that I have feathers, diamonds and gold nuggets and glowstone, and those will come in later. So fireworks actually have 3 main attributes, and that is color, effect and shape. So in order to create a firework, you need to put a piece of gunpowder in your crafting grid and then choose a color. So why don't we just make yellow, and that will give you a firework star, and that is a small ball yellow firework. Now it's not quite a firework yet, we actually need to put it into its container, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's make this, and that's the basic firework star. So we'll put that over here. So you can actually mix colors as well. So you can put yellow in there, and let's say we want it to fade to orange. So you would see here small ball yellow, and then it will fade to orange. And you can add lots of colors. You could add this one and make it fade to red if you wanted to. It will go red, yellow and then orange. You can do that if you want to, but we're going to stick to 2 colors for now. We're going to have a yellow one that goes to orange. So you can do this many combinations. You can put literally 8 colors in if you want. Now here's something to test. Actually, let's do it with a different color other than yellow. Let's do it with red. So if you make a small ball red and then you want to add blue later on, okay, so you fade by crafting it and then adding another dye. So if you choose these, then it's going to be a mixture of the color, so it will fade to blue afterwards. So that will be yellow / orange, I believe is how it works. So I don't know the exact details with fireworks. I haven't played with them too much, but just trying to give you a basic idea of how they work. So we'll create a few more of those a bit further down the road. So now let's talk about the effect that you can give. You can either give fireworks a trail effect or a twinkle effect. So let's just make an orange one here. If I apply glowstone, it will give it the twinkle effect. So we'll go with that. But if I give it, for example, so let's make a purple and then it fades to magenta, and then we add a diamond. That's strange. Should work. It should work in the exact same way. If you add a diamond, it's supposed to actually give you a... Maybe it doesn't work with when you combine them. Let's try that again. Ignore me. So if you add a color, let's go with red, and then add a diamond, then it should small ball red, yes, there we go, and then it will have a trail effect. So we're going to make just one of those because diamond is pretty expensive. So we've made the different effects. Now you could also add a shape to them, and by default you will always get the small ball. Now you can get a star effect by adding a gold nugget. So let's get ourselves some gunpowder here, and we'll go with light blue, and I think let's make this a light blue twinkle, which is going to be star shaped because we gave it a gold nugget. Then I'm going to make it fade to dark blue. So you can add a golden nugget to get the star shape. You can get a burst effect by adding a feather. So let's go this time with maybe yellow burst, and then add red, and it will go fade into red. So we can make up those. And by the way, there is just literally something like 20 million different combinations, so I can't show you all of these. I'm just giving you some examples. If you have a wither skeleton skull, you can get a creeper shaped head. I don't own any of those at the moment, so I can't show you that one. And you can also get a large ball by crafting a fire charge, and we will do that now because I do have the ingredients for a fire charge. You need blaze powder, coal, and gunpowder for that. So there's some coal, and obviously we've got gunpowder, so make a fire charge. Blaze powder, coal, and gunpowder will give you 3 fire charges. So you can now drop that in there, and we'll go with purple, a big large ball purple, and then that will fade to pink, and then we'll probably go out with a nice red. Ah, okay, you can't stack those. Thought you could. I don't know anymore. So we made a bunch of fireworks now, and I'm going to continue to play around with these and make a bunch more off camera. But how do we actually make a firework? Because if you use this, you can't do anything with it. So you actually need to make it into a firework. So in order to do that, you need to make yourself a firework star. Obviously, we're going to make a very, very basic. Let's just make a cyan one. So make a cyan burst, and then what you need to do is you need to apply paper and gunpowder to it, and that will give you the actual firework rocket. Now, depending on the amount of gunpowder you add, will give the flight duration more, so it will last longer before it explodes. So if we go with a short one, what we're going to do this time around, that's going to be pretty short, maybe travel 10 blocks before exploding. But if I add more gunpowder to it, then it will go 20 or even 30 blocks in the air before exploding. So let's go outside where it's a bit safer. I'll just disable the portal to keep down the bracket. And if you right click, then you'll see it goes up in the air, and as you can see, you get a little firework. So that's how you craft fireworks. I'm going to mess around with some different colours and the fire charges and the glowstone and see what I can come up with, and I'm going to make a bunch of fireworks, and then we will put them in the dispensers, and then we'll hook it all up so that we can get a nice fireworks display going. So I will be right back, guys. Okay guys, so I've made a bunch of fireworks and I've loaded up the dispensers. All of it's done, as you can see. So what we've got to do now is launch the fireworks display. Now we're going to have to be careful because creepers and such can be around, and we want to avoid that. So I've kind of done my best to light the area up. I've got a bit closer than that so that we can actually see the fireworks in action, but we are going to have to keep an eye out for creepers who want to kind of ruin our party, so to speak, as it's the perfect time, we're having fun, it's the creeper's favourite moment to just go and ruin the day, so we're not going to let that happen. I've got a little wire back here just connected up to a piston. That piston will push the block to complete the clock and set the dispensers going. So I'm pretty excited to see how this turns out. I made a lot of different fireworks and it took a while, but I'm pretty happy with it. I've used all my gunpowder, so only time will tell how this goes. So, on a 3, 2, 1. Here we are. So, happy 1-year tutorials, guys. Happy 1-year anniversary. Here's the fireworks display. We've got some nice big ones. We've got some star-shaped ones. We have all different colours. Perhaps the only thing I'd change is maybe make the dispensers a little wider apart. This is pretty awesome, I have to say. Look at that. All the different pretty colours. Short, tall, star-shaped. Mainly there are a lot of circle ones. I didn't have too many other things aside from feathers, really, to do anything with. So, we'll just have to see. We seem to be thinning out now. One here and there. This is kind of the end of your typical fireworks display. Oh no, not quite done yet. Got a nice big tall one there to end off. I think that is pretty much it now. Wait, no, one more. Every time you think it's over at a fireworks display, they always come out and surprise you, and there's always one left. The same type as well, it seems. But that was the fireworks display. I hope that you've enjoyed. Yeah, that is everything. Empty, 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 and empty. So that is a basic fireworks display, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that just as much as I did. It was a lot of work, but I think that it paid off. And that's how you do it. So you can make a bunch of these. And you could even add to this by using repeaters or instant wire, whatever you want to do. And you could make a huge fireworks display. I just did a small one as I don't have a lot of gunpowder, but if you have a lot of gunpowder, then this can be an entertaining way of kind of using that. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's tutorial, guys. I thank you all very, very much for watching these for the past year. It's been very interesting and exciting. I've learned a lot myself through this series, from learning redstone and all sorts of different things through doing this. So I give you guys a big thank you. Am I on peaceful? Oh, I am. Oh, that's not good. Well, that explains why there was no creepers around. Sorry. So now all the things are after me. Yep, there's creepers in every direction. Don't ruin my day, skeleton. 2 over there right by the portal. That's not good. Sleep in the bed. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, guys, and I hope to see you in the next episode, when we will probably get back to doing what I initially had planned, and that was an animal barn. You're gonna burn, jerk. So we'll do that next episode. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you've enjoyed my tutorials over the past year. As I say, if you want to download this world, the link will be down below, and you can play around with the fireworks for yourself. Oh boy, this is... gotta brave it. Yeah. There we are. This 2 hits everything, so it's not a big issue. Hey, got more gunpowder. Could have another go. Man, look at all the creepers around. There's 2 over there. Loads of them. Ah, I knew that was going to happen. Tried to lunge at him. So, yep, that's going to be just about it from me today, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, see you later, and have a good day.